Howdy and hello, I am Jonah, and today we're back with another video. Today we are going to be reviewing one of my favorite movies of all time, and because it's a Texas historical film, I figured we'd do it. The Alamo, the 2004 edition, not to be confused with the John Wayne edition of the 1960s. Also very good, and I might even do that one day and compare the two. Alright, so we're going to end up watching, what we're going to do is we're going to watch the trailer of the 2004 edition. I'm going to talk about it, how I was introduced to it, and a friend that came out of it. Sorry. Gets loud. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention before we get into the full area of the trailer. I'm not gonna do this the whole trailer, like keep pausing and talking. Probably one more time after this, just in case I forget anything. But I do apologize for the quality of the video, the trailer, because it is 2004, so I can't really do anything about that. I tried to find the nicest one I could, and the other ones look like they had been filmed using a potato. So this is the best we got. Sorry for pausing again. It's all true, they were just bankers and farmers and lawyers. And even less than that. Some of them weren't anything. They had sons, too. They had kids fighting at the Alamo. I've always wanted to do that, where like you lick your fingers and you extinguish the fire. I never knew how. And that's it. I mean, I could go all the way to the end, but that's an ad that we don't need. Anyway, so I mean that's kind of it, really. I don't know, I don't care. But so basically, what I'm going to go into here is that I discovered the Alamo through my love of history, through my family, of course. My mom and dad, they would talk about Texas history. I read about it in books. As a Texan, I believe 6th generation, it's also something that you just come to know because you hear the stories and you know it. And as a Texan, you're brought up with these stories of these men fought and died so that you could be in Texas the way it is today. Well, not the exact way it is today, but the way it has been for a long time, free and out of control of those who are not very good at being in power. Obviously, plenty of people could go into, like, literally today, like this day in history, August 16th or whatever, and say, oh, well, Texas is under siege from political distance, and, well, maybe true, maybe not, I don't know. It's not for me to decide. But, I actually watched this movie without knowing I watched this movie for the first time. That's not the right disc. I'll have to go find my movie. I watched it for the first time when I was 7 or 8, because I went to a birthday party, and I also watched my first James Bond movie at that birthday party. I believe that was Skyfall, one of the newer ones. And that was a really good one. But we watched this, and I remember watching the beginning of it, and a bit of just that, because we kind of fell asleep to it, or whatever. I remember staying up. I watched almost all of it and then fell asleep. It's kind of what I do. Like my Xbox is on right now. I'm getting ready to watch TV till I fall asleep to it, because my brother has his first day of school tomorrow. Being that he's going into high school, I'm going into college, obviously. I don't even go to college till next week, like a week from today. Anyway, so I watched this movie. I thought it was awesome, and you continue to grow up with these stories. In elementary school, they didn't really teach you Texas history. They just taught you general history. They didn't even teach you specific U.S. history till middle school. Yeah. So, I mean, you just learn and learn. So by the time I got to middle school, it was 6th grade. I was walking outside. The person I'm talking about, he'll know the story. I was walking on the track. He was talking to another person about the Alamo, and it just so happened. And sometimes I think on this and think, if he would have not been talking about it at that moment in that time, and I would have not been right there, I would never have become friends with him. And by God's will, it happened. And by the Lord's name, I was glad. By God's good grace, I was glad. We ended up talking about the Alamo, and it just kicked off from there. We ended up having a lot of similar interests. We had like Star Wars. We liked movies, Pirates of the Caribbean, stuff like that. We loved it. But Texas history was what really made us. We always talked about doing a play, because he had the prop for the Bowie knife, and I have a prop, and I might show you in a video one day. It's over there in my box over there. Prop of an actual old like flintlock style pistol, like a pirate would use, or back when this movie took place, they would use, like back in the 1830s and stuff. And as a Texan, to watch these people in the movie, I know it's a movie, but to think about the actual historical event while watching the movie, you have to think these people fought and they died. I mean, they were slaughtered. It took a while for the Mexican army to get through the wall of the Alamo and be like, finally, but they fought for a long time, and they held out. Unfortunately, they didn't hold out. They weren't able to hold out long enough for reinforcements, and they were all killed. But it's very sad as a Texan to really think all they wanted was their freedom. All they wanted was to live in peace in Texas with their land, and they all had to be killed for it. And it's very sad. It's sad. It really is. For most Texans, it's sad. You have a couple that are like, yeah, I mean, they died, whatever, and it's shame on them, because they don't understand. But, so shout out to that friend. He'll know who he is if he watches the video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my review of the movie. It's very historically accurate in some regards. The 13 days, the big 18-pound cannon, the fact that the Northern Wall was very weak, the fact that Davy Crockett was put in the, I forget what it's called, but it's, his militia was put near like a weak point where there wasn't really, there wasn't much reason to defend it, but he was put there. They showed the bodies being burned. That was correct at the end. I believe every fighter was burned just to ashes and buried, where a statue right around the corner from the Alamo, literally not right around the corner, but you like walk around the side wall of the Alamo, and it's a big, you can't miss it. And some people last year actually wanted to move it, but there were some people who had some differing ideals. Those people are correct. Don't you touch that statue, or you are going to get hurt. But this movie, very inspirational to me. It was. I watched it a lot through middle school. I continue to watch it. I have a tradition of watching it on the 6th of March every year, because that's what I call Alamo Day. I'll continue that with my children and maybe my grandchildren. Because, and maybe not this one, maybe it'll be a different version of the Alamo, but this one's just my favorite because it's the one I've always watched, the one I grew up watching. If I was to give it a review, like a rating, I'd give it like a, 5 out of 5 stars. In fact, let me see if I can look up real quick the actual ratings on it. The Alamo 2004. The Alamo review, so we'll look at IMDb here. The Alamo was given a 6 out of 10. I wonder why. It's an awesome movie. Let's look at what the critics have to say. Got a 47 on Metascore? Dang. Let's see what some of the critics have to say about it. Oh. Okay, so you actually get to go in and look. We can look at Metacritic. Look at their review. 6.3. Well crafted. Okay, so here we go. Some critic reviews. Needs more action. I'm gonna read some of the lower ones. The Alamo is all-around mediocre film. The characters are mostly boring, and none of the acting performances stand out. Perhaps with the exception of Billy Bob Thornton as Davy Crockett, who was a dim beacon of light and otherwise dull portrayal of an important moment in American history. The issue is this film is just not memorable. Sorry about that. This film is just not memorable, and nothing about it is particularly interesting. In a year, I will remember nothing about the Alamo. You have no idea the amount of restraint that I'm actually having to have at this moment to not punch my computer just thinking about the fact that I want to punch this man. The Alamo is not have anything to do with American history. At this point, Texas isn't even its own country during the time of the Alamo. When the Alamo happened, those 13 days, Texas was not a country. It was a territory. Not even part of America, nothing. It was part of Mexico. And number two, every character had its moment. You're not going to have a movie about 13 days of 186 men standing in, a church for 13 days. I mean, they're not, having tea parties and big gala balls and whatever you want. Gala, I don't care. Not partying the whole 13 days. It was about them that's what they were there to do. They were there to sit and defend the building. They weren't there to have a party. They weren't there to drink for 13 days. Maybe they did, we don't know. So, you're wrong for that. And the fact of the matter is, that last sentence, in a year, I remember nothing about the Alamo. It tells me, number one, he's not Texan, he's probably Californian. No offense to California, but... Oh, wow. Oh, look, is that the, that's a clip of the, other one. Alright, let's see... Worthless and weak, needed the original director and his cast of Gibson as Crockett and Crowe as Houston. Rob Crowe is Houston and Mel Gibson as Crockett. I couldn't respect the movie. That's like when they put John Cena in the Fast and the Furious. I loved the movie, but I didn't respect it like I would all the other Fast and Furious movies. If you would have put Rob Crowe, I believe. I don't actually remember his name. I don't want to say another name because I know that has nothing to do with acting and I'm going to get in trouble for saying that. But the Gladiator guy is Houston. I could actually see that. That would be interesting. But I feel it would take away from all the other actors. So I disagree. To hell with authenticity, vigor, and gusto in storytelling is what the real hero deserve once and for... You're an idiot. Okay. Geez. So, as you can tell, most of these reviews are by people who've probably never read a book in their life. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'm so sorry that I got a little bit angry at those reviews. I mean, as a sixth-generation Texan who loves history and this is one of his favorite movies about that time in history, it takes you off. So, anyway, thank you, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe. We are at a subscriber goal of 50 by the 1st of September. We're not quite halfway there yet. Hopefully we can get there. We're at 30. We just need 20. I hope you guys do subscribe. Leave likes and comments, of course. Comment below if there's anything you want me to go see, talk, or do about Texas. I will not be doing a lot of videos this week because it's my last week to throw everything together. That's why I've not been doing videos the last week either, because it's been hectic to throw all this stuff around, do paperwork and all that. So thank you, and I hope to see you guys soon in my next video. So again, thank you, and I will see you guys later. Have a good day, good night, and bye, y'all. Bye, y'all.